Hello TB YouTubers. In today's video we will be deep diving in Mishcon de Reya's recently announced IPO as well as the pros and cons of the law firm listing on the London Stock Exchange. So on April 28th, law firm Mishcon de Reya announced that it was planning to list on the London Stock Exchange, a rare move for law firms in general. It assigned JP Morgan Chase to arrange the listing for later this year, and once listed, the firm could be valued at £750 million, making it the most highly valued flotation of a legal services entity to date. Mishcon announced that it aims to float 28% of the company, meaning that the majority of it will still be left in the hands of its partners and employees. It also announced that all 1,000 of its employees will be receiving shares. But for a bit of context, who are Mishcon de Reya? They are a small-sized yet high-quality law firm who specialize in litigation and private client matters and generally cater to a wealthy client base. They have 3 offices, in London, New York, and recently in Singapore. The firm has built its brand by taking on exceptionally challenging and high-profile cases. Some notable examples include Princess Diana's divorce in 1996, GINA Miller's challenge against Prime Minister Boris Johnson's decision to prorogue Parliament in 2019, and it has also acted for Sainsbury's in the Supreme Court against Visa and MasterCard in one of the largest cartel damages claims ever heard in English courts. So why does this firm want to float? Mishcon expects revenues of £188 million this year and has increased its revenues steadily by 40% in the last 5 years. So why does a successful, naturally growing firm want to look for public funding? Well, as stated by the firm's CEO, Kevin Gold, the decision was driven by the need to move the dial on the firm's rate of growth, which would require a huge amount more capital. Usually, law firms rely on partners to contribute funds for investment. However, partners' personal wealth is sometimes not enough to invest millions on large-scale projects, and it may be difficult to persuade them to invest in something that may ultimately be unsuccessful. Therefore, external investment through an IPO is much more suited for the level of growth Mishcon is looking for. But how is Mishcon looking to grow, and what is it looking to invest in? Firstly, international expansion. The firm has stated that it wants to increase recruitment in Singapore and London offices and potentially expand further into Asia and the Middle East. It is also looking to make a big push in legal technology by acquiring more startups for their legal incubator MDR Lab. They also want to invest in venture capital. In particular, they have plans to expand their offering of non-law consultancy businesses. So far, these include MDR Mayfair, which is a private family office service, MDR Brand Management, and they are also seeking to establish an esports gaming agency. So, what are the advantages and disadvantages of Mishcon de Reya going public? One big advantage is the massive injection of capital it will receive. As we already discussed, this is much more than a traditional partnership model can offer, especially for large projects such as expansion to new markets like Asia and the Middle East. Another important advantage is the press coverage. Listing may raise awareness of the law firm and attract new clients. However, we should note that press coverage may also be negative, particularly if the listing does not meet its targets. Another advantage is that listing will increase the firm's reputation. The rigorous due diligence process required to list on the London Stock Exchange acts as a stamp of approval of the financial health of the company, bringing in more investors and potentially clients. Listing will also allow Mishcon to distribute shares among young joiners of the firm, which will foster loyalty. A good share price will attract young talent and help Mishcon recruit more people in London and Singapore, as it wants to do. However, now we have to move on to the disadvantages of Mishcon becoming public. One key disadvantage is that listing is a considerable investment of both time and money. Specifically, it requires rigorous due diligence and a detailed prospectus that will help investors assess the firm's assets and liabilities. One big potential liability for Mishcon is its ongoing investigation by the Solicitors Regulation Authority. The investigation follows a number of different complaints of anti-money laundering failings and conflicts of interest. So far, there have been no adverse findings against Mishcon. However, the investigation will keep going and it may negatively affect investors' opinions of the firm's IPO. Another disadvantage could be that external investment could dilute the partner control of the firm. Listing will mean that partners will have to share control with external investors. Partners may not like that, especially if they are forced to fight with shareholders over future profits or if the share price drops. Therefore, Mishcon may run the risk of losing top talent as unhappy partners may leave. Giving external investors control may also impact the way the firm usually works. For example, Mishcon de Reya has an appetite for high-profile legal challenges such as Princess Diana's divorce. This may be reined in by more cautious external investors who view this as risky business. However, whether the dilution of partner control will actually be a disadvantage depends on two factors. The first factor is that the firm just plans to list 28% of itself. Will a 28% listing given to external shareholders be a significant loss to a partner's control? And the second factor depends on the views of the investors. Are they actually attracted by Mishcon's ambitious involvement in such high-profile cases, or do they view it more as a risk? And a final but important disadvantage is that there is no guarantee that a flotation will be a success. Take for example Australian law firm Slater & Gordon, which was the first firm to float on the Australian Stock Exchange in 2007. It had a successful IPO, and then it acquired an insurance claims company called Quindel. Quindel came under investigation by the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK, and the scandal crashed Slater's share price. Another cautionary tale is that of DWF, which is a large listed law firm in the London Stock Exchange. When the pandemic hit, it knocked almost 2/3 of its share price, and other listed law firms were similarly affected. These two examples demonstrate that listed law firms are vulnerable to both scandal and recession, which means that an IPO could backfire and also hurt a law firm's reputation. However, listed law firms seem to have restored investor confidence by showing resilience and adaptability by transitioning to home working quickly and bouncing back faster than other professional services firms. This is why we are seeing a resurgence of law firm IPOs, such as Mishcon's IPO, Irwin Mitchell also considering an IPO, and DWF's share price is recovering, although it is still 34% lower than when it originally listed. In conclusion, listing has its pros and cons. Mishcon's prospects do look good, but only time will tell whether it has made the right move. Thank you for watching our video. Don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe for more great content.